Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to talk about how to solve one-step equations using 3 simple steps that I came up with. Let's get started. Now, the name is actually a little misleading because I'm going to give you 3 steps on how to solve one-step equations. What one step refers to is actually that you have to do one thing to the equation to solve for the variable. It's very important that you get in the habit of following these 3 steps when doing one-step equations because it's the same steps you're going to need for 2-step equations. So the more you practice these steps, the better you will be at the 7th grade standard of 2-step equations. The steps are as follows. Number 1, circle the variable. Now remember, a variable is any letter or symbol used to represent an unknown quantity. Number 2, ask what the heck is happening to the variable. Number 3, do the opposite to both sides. Now the 3rd step is actually called the golden rule. The golden rule means whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side. Let's look at some examples. So I've done 4 different examples here because I'm using all 4 operations: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Now we're going to go through each one using these 3 steps to isolate the variable and solve for x. Now let's look at our first example. X plus 6 equals 2. Step number 1, circle the variable, x. Step number 2, ask, what the heck is happening to the variable? X, what's happening to you? Oh, you're being added by 6. Step number 3, do the opposite to both sides. Well, the opposite of adding is subtracting. So I'm going to follow the golden rule and I'm going to do unto one side as I do unto the other. Subtract 6. Now, if I have 6 and I take away 6, that means all that I'm left with is that x that I was trying to isolate. And then I have 2 minus 6, and I know that 2 minus 6 is equal to negative 4. Now I can always check my work and rewrite the original equation and see if what I replace x with is true. Negative 4 plus 6, does that equal 2? Heck yes, it does. In the next example, x minus 6 equals 2. Step number 1, circle the variable. Hi, x. Step number 2, ask, what the heck is happening to the variable? X, what the heck is happening to you? Oh, you're being subtracted by 6. Do the opposite to both sides. All right, well, if 6 is being taken away, then I'm going to do the opposite and add 6 to both sides, following the golden rule. And lastly, if I have negative 6 and add 6, that'll take me back to 0. And I don't need to write x plus 0. I can just write x. 2 plus 6 is 8. Again, I'm going to check my work. I'm going to rewrite the original equation and see if what I have is true. If I replace x with 8, 8 minus 6, does that equal 2? Heck yes, it does. Next example, 6x equals 2. Step number 1, circle the variable. Hi, x. Number 2, ask, what the heck is happening to the variable? X. What the heck is happening to you? Oh, there's an invisible multiplication dot, which means you're being multiplied by 6. What's the opposite of multiplying by 6? Hopefully you said dividing by 6. Now, I know that a fraction line means divide, so I like to put division symbols on both sides. 6 divided by 6 is 1x. I don't need to write the 1. I know if there's an x, there's one of them. And 2 6 is actually going to stay a fraction. I can simplify the top and the bottom by dividing 2 on both the numerator and denominator. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Finally, I can always check my work by replacing in the original equation my solution. 6x equals 2. I don't know, does it? 6 times 1/3. Well, when I multiply fractions, I multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. Fraction line means divide. 6 divided by 3, it does equal 2. And our last example, x divided by 6 equals 2. Step number 1, circle the variable. Step number 2, ask, what the heck is happening to the variable? The variable x is being divided by 6. So I shall do the opposite to both sides. The opposite of dividing is multiplying both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is going to be 1x, and 2 times 6 is going to be 12. Again, we can always check our work. X divided by 6 equals 2. I don't know, does it? Instead of x, I'll substitute it with 12. 12 divided by 6 does equal 2. Just to recap, in this video, we learned 3 simple steps for solving one-step equations. Step number 1, circle the variable. Step number 2, ask yourself, what the heck is happening to the variable? Step number 3, do the opposite to both sides of the equation. Remember, that's called the golden rule. You can always check your work at the end. See you next time. Hey guys, it's Jessica. Thank you so much for learning with me. If you enjoyed this mini lesson, like this video and share it with your friends. And remember, subscribe to Just Focus Online Learning for more amazing educational videos.